Hello my dear students and welcome to your favorite educational YouTube channel English वाली मैम. So आज हमारी OTT series by day 54 Know How to Get the Perfect Score का episode 21 है, in which we are going to revise a poem from our main reader. And I hope by now all of you have subscribed to our channel and you're also liking our videos and sharing them with your friends, because as you already know कि मैम आपको बहुत जल्द examiner secrets along with that the road map to perfect score जो है वो बताएंगी, है ना. So let us start with a revision of the poem, which is titled as the Ball Poem, written by John Berryman. अब ये आज बोर्ड को ऐसा ब्लैंक देख के घबराना नहीं है, okay? I've left it blank for a reason. Okay, so let's quickly read the poem and then understand the main points of the poem. So the introduction says that there's a boy who has lost the ball that he was playing with and he's very upset. The ball doesn't cost very much, but the boy is still very upset. So the poet who had actually seen this boy losing the ball, he is narrating this incident. It says, what is the boy now who has lost his ball? What is he to do? I saw it go, merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over. There it is in the water. No use to say, oh, there are other balls, and ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy. As he stands rigid, trembling, staring down, all his young days into the harbour where his ball went. I would not intrude on him, a dime another ball is worthless. Now he senses his first responsibility. In a world of possessions, people will take balls. Balls will be lost always, little boy. And no one buys a ball back. Money is external. He is learning. Well behind his desperate eyes, the epistemology of loss. How to stand up, knowing what every man must one day know, and most know many days how to stand up. So this poem, first of all, we need to understand, talks about epistemology of loss, the theory of loss. So what are the key points of this poem? Let us list these key points. So the first key point of the poem is, or the first understanding of the poem is, that the boy, or a boy, lost the ball. He was playing with, right? And where did the ball go? The ball went into the water. All right? Right? After this, who is looking at the boy, or who is observing the boy? The poet observes the boy. And when he observes the boy, what does he see? That the boy is grief stricken. That is, the boy is feeling extremely sad. Now the poet at one point of time wants to give money. To whom? To the boy. But somehow he stops himself because he feels that, so we write here, but he stops, okay, because he wants to, why? Because he wants to make the boy understand. What does he want the boy to understand? The harsh realities of life, out of which, what is the biggest harsh reality of life? That all the material things will be lost at one point of time in life. Will be lost as in not like we will not be able to find them. That is, all the material things at one point of time in our life, we are not going to possess all of them. Or maybe let's say a pen that you possessed, let's say 3 years back, it's not necessary that you will possess it even now or in the days to come. Okay, so talking about the loss of material things, that is the epistemology of loss, that eventually all the material things are taken away from us. They remain very they are hardly found in our life, and that is why we should consider these material things as kind of insignificant. Because if we grieve over these material things, what's going to happen? We would always be in a state of extreme sadness. Now, doesn't this poem relate with the chapter which we will of course revise in the coming days, but I'm sure you have read it in your class? That is the sermon at Banaras, the first sermon that Gautam Buddha delivered at Banaras, wherein he talks about that when you are very much attached to certain things and even to people, he says, what happens? You are always grief stricken. So we must learn, or we must accept the loss in our lives. Okay, so that's about the poem. अब हम बात करते हैं of the rhyme scheme of the poem. Now, if you read the poem and if you observe the poem, you will see that there are no rhyming words. And if you have seen our previous videos, we know that the poem which doesn't have any rhyming words at the end, that poem is written as a free verse. V-E-R-S-E. Okay, so now let's talk about the poetic devices. So time to turn the board. Okay, and I hope all of you also remember that I told you that you will also be able to find overlapping examples from a single line or single stanza in the poem. So let us understand. So first poetic device, of course, is symbolism. Okay, so symbolism here. So basically there is the ball, or the possession of ball is referring to the material things. Alright. The next poetic device is enjambment. What is enjambment? Wherein there is continuation of the line from the above stanza. So if you look at the line in this poem, okay, so if you look at the second line, I saw it go. Do you see the last words? So what is he to do? So he questions, and then he says, I saw it go merrily bouncing down the street, and then merrily over there it is in the water. So ideally this is one complete line, but what has the poet done? He has basically segregated these into different lines. So here I am writing line 2, 3 and 4. Then you of course have alliteration here. It is in the water. It is in the water. Correct? Then the next poetic device that you have is repetition. Alright. So repetition, if you look at line 1 and line 2, what phrase. This is repeated in both the lines. And then of course, metaphor. Alright. So, the word of possessions. Again referring to what? Referring to the material things. Alright. So, these are the poetic devices of this poem, and like I always say, if you get more examples of a particular poetic device, or if you get more poetic devices, good for you. Alright. But make sure they're absolutely correct. And even if you have a doubt about a poetic device, what you can do is that you can always comment on the video and ask the doubt regarding that poetic device, and I'll be more than happy to answer it for you. Alright, I'll see you all in the next episode. Till then, do like, share and subscribe to English Valley Ma'am, and of course, all the best.